You ever notice how you can lose 3 hours to absolutely nothing, but a simple phone call you've been meaning to make feels like it would take 3 years of your life? That's not laziness. That's not even procrastination in the way we traditionally understand it. It's something far more interesting and far more human than we've been led to believe. We're living through something unprecedented, not a crisis, not a moment, a condition, and nobody prepared us for it. See, there's this invisible architecture that used to hold everything together, a kind of shared understanding about how life unfolds. You could see it in the way people talked about the future, the way they planned, the certainty in their voices when they gave advice. That architecture has collapsed. And here's what nobody tells you about living in the rubble. Your nervous system knows something's wrong before your conscious mind catches up. You feel it in your body first. The tightness, the constant low-grade anxiety that has no name. The sense that you're always behind, even when you've accomplished everything on your list. You're not imagining it. What's happening is this: human beings are pattern recognition machines. We're wired to detect rhythms, to find the signal in the noise, to predict what comes next. It's how we survived as a species. It's how we built civilizations. This ability to project forward, to plan, to trust that today's actions will matter tomorrow. But projection requires stability. It requires some baseline of predictability. And that's precisely what's gone. Think about it. We're the first generation to experience economic collapse as routine rather than exception. We watched our parents' certainties dissolve in real time. The job market shifted while we were in college, then shifted again and again. The rules changed mid-game, then the game changed, then someone announced we weren't even playing the same game anymore. And it's not just economics, it's everything. Relationships now exist in this weird quantum state between analog and digital. You can know someone for years and never meet them. You can be in a room full of people and be completely alone. Connection has been redefined so many times that nobody knows what the word even means anymore. The information environment went from scarcity to absolute overwhelm in a single generation. We went from "I don't know" being an acceptable answer to having infinite knowledge in our pockets while somehow knowing less than ever about what's actually true. The planet's on fire. Democracy's in question. Privacy's dead. Everyone's exhausted. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there's this nagging voice that keeps asking, why can't you just get your shit together? Here's why: because your nervous system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. When the environment becomes unpredictable, when patterns break down, when the future becomes opaque, your brain doesn't plan. It survives. And survival mode has a very specific relationship with time. It collapses your horizon. It makes everything feel urgent. It turns your attention into a spotlight that can only illuminate the immediate threat, which, in our case, is everything and nothing all at once. This is why time feels broken. Why some moments stretch into infinity while entire years vanish. Why you can spend an entire Sunday feeling like you're drowning in quicksand, unable to complete a single task, while simultaneously feeling like you don't have enough time to do anything that matters. Your brain is trying to protect you. It's just using tools designed for a different kind of danger. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like from the inside. It's Sunday evening. You've got that thing you need to do. Update your portfolio. Make that call. Write that email. Schedule that appointment. Doesn't matter what it is, you know the thing I'm talking about. The thing that would take 15 minutes but has been living rent-free in your head for 3 weeks. You sit down. You open your laptop. You have every intention of doing it right now. And then something happens. Or rather, nothing happens. You're frozen. Not because you don't know how to do it. Not because you don't care. But because your entire system is screaming at you that this isn't safe. That you need more information. More certainty. More something. So you open another tab. Just to check one thing. Just to make sure. Just to. And 3 hours later, you're watching videos about urban planning in Tokyo or the history of mustard or someone's take on a celebrity you've never heard of. Your thing remains undone. And now, on top of the original anxiety, you've got a fresh layer of self-loathing. Why am I like this? You're like this because you're human. Because you're living through a period of radical uncertainty with a nervous system that craves stability. Because the old maps don't work anymore, and nobody's drawn new ones yet. But here's what matters: you can work with this, not against it. With it. The old paradigm was linear. Do A, get B, follow the steps, receive the reward. It made sense when the world was stable enough to honor those kinds of bargains. But that's not the world we live in anymore. We need a different approach. Not better time management. Not more discipline. Not another productivity system that promises to finally be the one that works. We need to stop thinking about time as a river we're trying to navigate and start thinking about it as weather we're learning to live in. What does that mean practically? It means accepting that some days are storm days. that your capacity fluctuates, that the question isn't how do I stop the weather, but how do I respond to what's actually happening right now. It means building a different kind of relationship with your own nervous system, learning to recognize when you're in survival mode, not judging it, not fighting it, just seeing it clearly, because once you see it, you can work with it. Here's something I've learned: momentum is everything, and momentum doesn't care about importance. Your brain doesn't distinguish between significant action and any action. It just recognizes movement versus stasis. So when you're frozen, when that thing is looming over you like a monument to your inadequacy, don't start with the thing. Start with anything. Wash a dish, respond to a text, organize one drawer, take out the trash, do a push-up, make your bed. Doesn't matter. Just move. Because here's the secret: starting is not a decision, it's a physical state. Once your body is in motion, once you've broken the seal on stillness, the next action becomes exponentially easier. And the next, and the next. This isn't willpower, it's physics. And here's the other piece: presence. We've been sold this idea that the future is where life happens, that the present is just preparation, just transition, just waiting for the real thing to start. That's the trap. The future never arrives. It's a horizon that recedes at the same rate you approach it. And while you're focused on reaching it, your actual life, the only life you have, is happening now. In this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. Not in some Instagram-friendly meditation retreat kind of way. In a deeply practical sense. When you're present, you're not fighting the past or fleeing toward the future. You're here. And here is the only place where anything can actually happen. This is what I mean by spatial thinking instead of linear thinking. Not what do I need to do to get there, but what can I do right here, right now, that aligns with who I actually am. Not who you should be, not who you're supposed to be, who you actually are, in this moment, with the energy and capacity you actually have. That's the question worth asking. And you know what's wild? When you ask that question honestly, when you answer it truthfully, things start to move. Not in the ways you planned, not according to the timeline you imagined, but they move. Because here's what nobody tells you about this moment we're living in. Yes, the old structures have collapsed. Yes, the future is uncertain in ways it's never been before. Yes, your nervous system is working overtime just to keep you functional. But there's another side to this. You're also more adaptable than any generation before you. You've already survived multiple reality shifts that would have broken people who came before. You've learned to navigate complexity, to hold paradox, to function in chaos. You've been training for this your entire life without knowing it. The flexibility that feels like a curse, never quite settled, never quite sure, is also your greatest asset. You don't need the old certainties. You never had them anyway. What you need is to trust yourself in uncertainty, to stop waiting for stability before you act, to recognize that coherence matters more than external validation ever will. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be honest about where you are and what you can do from here. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because time isn't something you manage, it's something you inhabit. And the moment you stop trying to control it and start living in it, everything changes. Not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily, genuinely. The year passes quickly, that's true, but it doesn't have to pass emptily. It can be full of small moments of presence, full of imperfect action, full of the messy, beautiful, completely unglamorous work of showing up for your own life exactly as it is. Not as it should be, not as you wish it were, as it is. That's where the work happens. That's where life happens. And you're capable of it. You always have been. You just forgot how to trust that. So here's your homework, if you want it. For the next 30 minutes, don't think about what you should do. Don't plan. Don't strategize. Just do one thing. Anything. Let your body move before your mind catches up. And notice what happens next. Not because it'll solve everything, but because it'll remind you of something you already know. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You're not failing at life. You're just human, living through an inhuman amount of change. Doing the best you can with tools that were never designed for this. And that's not just okay. It's remarkable. You're remarkable, even when it doesn't feel like it. Especially then. Now go. Do the thing. Or don't do the thing. Just stop thinking about the thing and start moving toward anything. The rest will follow. It always does.